Hey, this is Biba Pedron from Biba for Network. And if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening the Time to Shine Today podcast with my good friend Scott Ferguson.
Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson. We're at episode 224 with my good friend Biba Pedron from Biba for Network. She carved out a nice little 20, 30 minutes of time. She's located in France, and she's dropping some serious knowledge nuggets to help you develop your personal branding and impact the world. She is always progressing. Always moving forward, always inch by inch, it's a cinch mentality. She learned English. She learned American way of life also with being a native from France. She has a stable of awesome clients, and the knowledge nuggets she's going to drop on you right now is just going to blow your mind. So please sit back, relax, break out your notebooks, because here comes my really good friend, Biba Pedron from Biba for Network. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I got my beautiful lady, if you're watching here on YouTube or any of our other video platforms, Miss Biba Pedron. Biba Pedron. I'm just going to go with Biba, and she's Biba for Network. She's a rock star coach. She has served as a sales and marketing manager for 15 years and quickly established herself as a subject matter expert. She helps small business owners to connect the dots of marketing, social media, branding, mindset to grow their business much faster, sharing a step-by-step roadmap to double or triple their revenues in 90 days. And Biba, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Well, it's red and black. And that's
red and black. That's see that you're branding. Marketed like that. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. That's my branding.
Yay.
And usually people say when I'm not dressed in red and black, why you're not in red and black? But today I'm not.
I think every color is good in your color wheel. I think you can rock anything. With red and black, you look fantastic in. And again, squad, if you're watching, very beautiful woman, very powerful woman, very confident woman, but she's here to level us up. So people, let's get a little bit with the origins and kind of move forward and like kind of where you got with Biba for Network.
Yeah. So first, I'm French, so probably people notice an accent. And then when I was a little girl, I had a dream to move to the United States. So it took me a long time. But then in 2003, I moved to the US and I started my business. And in order to do that, actually, a few years before, I quit my job on a Friday evening to start a business in France in the Monday morning, and then to be able to move the business in the US at some point. And when I arrived at the beginning of 2000, we didn't have networking in France at the time, and I was hearing about networking all the time. So that's how I was able to start my first business in New York, organizing networking events. So that's how I got the visa. And then more and more. So, very quickly, I didn't know any marketing strategy. I didn't know anything about networking, but then quickly people say, how are you doing it? Because when I arrived also in New York, I pretty much didn't speak English and I didn't know anybody. But within 2 years, everybody said, how are you doing it? We can see you everywhere. How do you do visibility? And I said, I don't know. I do stuff. And then that's how I really started coaching people on visibility, on using networking to grow the business. And little by little, I teach also social media when social media arrived, then more marketing in general. And today, I'm more specialized in personal branding. We were just speaking about it. And also in mindset, because I noticed that there's no way to be successful in a business if you don't have the right mindset. So that's what I'm doing. And I have clients all over the world, but mainly in France and in the United States. And I live in Miami, but right now I'm in France, in Normandy.
She's in Normandy, where we stormed that beach almost 80 years ago or something like that. And Biba, what did your family think about you wanting so driven to move to the United States and in I wouldn't say better a life, but to level up?
Well, at first, of course, it was a dream since I was a little girl. They were used to hear me about it, and nobody trusts me. And then, but when they realized that I was going back and forth, because I came to the US, to New York the first time in 1992. And then after I went a lot more and a lot more. It took me 10 years to really be able to stay there and to move them. But I was going more back and forth since 2000, every 3 months, Paris, New York, Paris, New York. So at some point they realized that it's not just a dream, it's something that she's doing.
Yes.
And then I started the business. I lived in New York for 5 years. And one weekend after those 5 years, I went to Miami to see a friend, only for 3 days. And at the end of the 3 days, he said, how do you feel about Miami? I said, I'm moving before the end of the year. And it was in March. And it was March 2007. And I moved in August 2007. And I was able to do that because the decision that I made in 1998, when I decided to start my business in France, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have any money. I just had the conviction that it was possible. And I knew that I wanted a business that I could manage from anywhere with just a phone, a computer, and an internet connection. So I went from Paris to New York, New York to Paris, just because I had this conviction when I was younger.
Wow, that's amazing. So when you move into the coaching realm, and making people shine out there, what do you think makes a great coach then, Biba?
It's first of all to have the experience, to be in their shoes first, because we know that a business, whatever business you have, you're not successful overnight. So you have obstacles, and you can even have a lot of obstacles, but you've been there, so you can help them. And also a coach should have a coach.
Yes.
Because you can help people, but at some point, if you grow in your business and if you don't have anybody to help you, you will reach a plateau. And then at some point, you won't be able to help others. So, and that's something coaching, we didn't have business coach at the time in 2000 when I left France. So I didn't know. So at the beginning, when I saw arriving in New York, everybody's a coach. I said, what does that mean? Why do they have a coach? I have a business in France. I did everything on my own. Why do I need a coach? But then I realized that the people who had a coach, they were growing much faster than I was doing. So I started having a coach, and then I always have a coach now, because that's how you can grow. And because it's very difficult as an entrepreneur to see everything on your own. So we like this. So it's good to have somebody who watch on our shoulder and say, sometimes it's just a little thing that you just tweak, but you don't see it if it's your own business.
Another set of eyes is always key. I mean, I have 4 coaches and my people that are like, wow, I have coaching sessions almost every day for myself, leveling up. So Biba, when you're maybe in a discovery period, what is some of maybe your secret sauce, if you don't mind me sharing, there at Biba for Network, to help them find their blind spots?
The blind spot. Well, I don't know. It's difficult for me because everything that I do, I don't necessarily think about it long time before. I just made the decision. I start, I do, and then I see what I need, or I see what I'm supposed to do. So I'm not the kind of person who would decide long time in advance. So that's how I help other people, because I see what they need at the time and how they can go with that. So I don't necessarily have like a specific strategy to see that.
Okay.
But I have the instinct to see what they need at the time.
That is the mark of an awesome coach, because you're asking the powerful questions to draw out of them, and then their blind spot magically appears out of their answers. I love that you said that you're actually listening and being empathetic and being in their shoes. That's awesome. And that is a mark of an awesome coach. So when somebody is coming in to get coached by Biba, is there any question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
What I never did?
No, is there any question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Oh.
This is like kind of during the discovery period, getting to know each other. All the questions are flying back and forth.
Yeah.
Is there any question you wish they would ask you?
The question that I ask, well, I don't know if they have to ask me, but the question is, are you motivated?
Yes.
And are you sure that you're motivated enough? Because as a coach, I don't want to be more motivated than you to get you successful. So that's the very first thing. And sometimes it's easy to see, when you do the discovery session with the people, you talk to them and you see if they're motivated or not. So if they're not, absolutely not, I say, no, there's no way that we can work together. And sometimes people seems to be very motivated, but when we start working, then that change a little bit, and then you have to push them. So I
Gotcha.
mean, the question they have to ask me are, will you be behind me?
Yes.
And I will be behind.
Are you going to hold me accountable? Are you going to be there? I love that.
And I would do that like 100%, but I also tell them, if you're not motivated, at some point, I won't be able to help you. I want to help only people who want success. And it doesn't matter the meaning of success you put behind your business. It's not the same for everybody, but I will support you as long as you're very motivated and determined. I will be there. But if you're not, then I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. I've actually fired clients myself just because they weren't there. And it's not because I don't love them. I just think that I'm not the right horse for the course, the right coach for them. So, Biba, you lived in France, but do you remember the movie Back to the Future?
I never watched it completely, but I saw pieces.
Okay. There's a guy, he gets in a DeLorean, he goes back in time, okay? If you could go back in time to the 22-year-old Biba, what kind of knowledge nuggets, we call them knowledge nuggets here at Time to Shine Today, what kind of knowledge nuggets are you dropping on Biba to maybe help her level up, shorten her learning curve, and blast through maybe just a little quicker?
Yeah. Have the right entourage, have the right people around you, have people who are motivated, because actually that's one of the reasons that it took me a while to start my own business, because the people that I had around me were more negative and say, you can't do it, it's not possible, you won't make it, you won't make any money. So it's really to make sure they have the right people around you, people who can support you, whatever is your idea, even if it's a crazy idea, to have the people who support you and show you that if you really want to do it, you can do it.
Yes, I love that. And also, as young as you can be, hire a coach, right? Hire someone like us. Hire someone like you.
Yeah,
I love it. Definitely. So, Biba, my squad wants to know, my listeners want to know, how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, that life date and death date on your tombstone. How do you want your dash remembered?
That I impacted people. Because that's, I help, I do a lot, especially with women entrepreneurs, and I work with them to do a lot of things to help them to have more visibility and more impact. So I know that at my little level, I can have little impact, but what I want, and I do a lot of things, I do a lot of things for women to have us all together, so that way we can impact more people. And impacting more people means also showing more role model to people. And to show to people that even if you're in an environment where people tell you that you can't do it, then there's a way, and there's people who can help you. So it's really the impact. I said probably and impact is one of the name of my program, and it's probably something that I want on my stone, as you said. She impacted, maybe not the world, but she impacted people.
You're going to impact people. You already are on a macro level. I can see it. I've vetted you out. Once Wendy, a really good friend of mine, introduced us, I was like, I really dug into, and your passion shines through at all times. And you're not afraid to what my good friend Leah Woodford would say, get your asking gear, ask questions, ask. And I love that you said that. So Biba, what keeps you up at night?
Good question. Just to be able to continue to do what I do, even if it's at my, what I say, small level, but then inspire enough people to do the same thing, so we can help.
So you start, like we say here, inch by inch, it's a cinch, right? We start small and it just turns in. I love that you said that. That's fantastic. So Biba, then what do you think people misunderstand about you the most?
Well, the funny thing is, most people, when people don't really know me, they think that I'm very, I don't know the word in English, but very distant. Right?
Yes.
That I'm not fun, that I'm very strict, and that kind of things.
That you can have like an aura of arrogance, but you're really not. Like you're just kind of, but you're not. You're approachable and loving and everything else. And I see that. I wanted to ask you that question because I was hoping you were going to say that. You're a very powerful woman. You dress beautifully. You're so well spoken. And sometimes that can intimidate people when really you're just somebody that wants to give you a hug, right? and
so
help you level up.
They're very surprised. There's an expression in French that I use all the time, but I don't know the translation in English, but that say that, I'm more fun than you think.
I know, right?
and it's good way, because sometimes you meet people, you feel that you see them on social media, they have fun and everything, and when you see them, they're very distant. So people are surprised because I'm on the opposite. So it's a good surprise.
They have that imposter syndrome, where with me, what I'd like, the biggest compliment I have is people are like, Fergie, you are the same in person as you are on the microphone. Like, dude, I'm 6'1", I'm 250. I'm not a little guy, right? But when I meet you, I'm going to give you the biggest bear hug if you allow me to, because that's me. I'm always like that. I mean, I live by, don't take life too seriously. You'll never make it out alive. We're all dying one day. Why not have fun during this time? So, Biba, I'm curious to ask you, what's your definition of a life well lived?
Well, for me, it's to do what I want, where I want, who I want, with who I want. That's how I live, and that's what I teach to other people.
Yes.
And when I mean with who I want, it's in business and it's personal, but when I mean with who I want, it's also for people who are entrepreneurs to have I won't say the luxury, but to understand that you can say no to some people. We were saying, and you just saying you fire some clients, is to have the option to select the people you want to work with, because we started a business to have fun.
Right.
So we don't want to have to push people all the time. So really, with who you want is really have the friend that you want, have the client that you want. And that's one of the things that I made the decision also in April 1998, when I decided that I would have like a business that I can manage everywhere. Right now, besides during the pandemic, I live between France, the French Caribbean, and Miami. And I can do my business from anywhere. So sometimes I decide that I don't want to work. I won't say that I go to the beach, because even if I live everywhere where there's a beach, I don't go to the beach, but just to know that I have the possibility, like the beach is usually
the option to do it if you want to.
Option to do it too. So it's really something that I made a decision long time ago, and I was able, and maybe not lucky because I created it. It's a choice.
Sure, you manifested it. Absolutely.
I did what I wanted, and I'm really happy with it.
And I love that, because you're doing everything. You left something out. You're doing what you want, where you want, why you want, how you want, but you're doing everything in the service of people. And that's what my listeners love. Like, you do it. And I live by, I do what I love in the service of people that love what I do. And I love that. And that's what people do. That's why you're so successful and you help so many people level up. Hey, time to shine today, Podcast Varsity Squad. We are back with my awesome sauce friend, Biba Pedron. She's over in Normandy, France right now, and she has graced us with and carved time to come on and share with you some awesome knowledge nuggets, which she's dropped fantastic ones. But we're going to take her up through our leveling up lightning round, Ms. Biba. You and I could talk an hour on each one of these questions. You have 5 seconds.
Okay.
To answer. No explanations, and you can answer them all in 5 seconds. You ready to level up?
Okay.
Let's do it.
Ready.
Share the best. What is the best leveling up advice Biba's ever received?
It's come from my mentor, Ali Brown. And one day we were doing like a VIP day.
Quickly.
She said, time to take your leadership hat.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
I think it's go back to the do where I want, where that's the same thing.
Love it. If you see me and I'm walking down the street and you're like, there's Fergie, but he just doesn't look like he's having the energy he needs, and I'm in the doldrums, what book would you hand me to read?
The one from, if it's more for a woman, but it's Think and Grow Rich for a Woman from Sharon Lechter.
Yeah, Sharon Lechter from Napoleon Hill. Love it. Mm-hmm. When you text, Biba, what's your most commonly used emoji?
Oh, the one with the smile.
Love it. Now, don't lie to me on this one, okay? If you could stay one age physically for the rest of your life, still keep the knowledge you've garnered and continue to gain knowledge, what age physically would you stay for the rest of your life?
I think 100.
100? Well,
that's 100. It's a good number.
Okay.
It's a good number.
I love it. Biba, is there any favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time or money to?
I give a lot on charity for children. I don't have one specifically, but it's always for children. I don't have children, so that's why I give also.
I'm a kid from the orphanage and whatnot growing up. Thank you so much for doing that. Last question, and you can elaborate on this one. But what is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s.
Yeah, I love you for saying that. I'm coming up on 50 years old, so it's like I grew up in the 80s. It was everything to me. So, Biba, how can we find you?
Well, the easiest way is bibapedron.com. And for people who eventually learn more, I have like an ebook. They can go to bibapedron.com/3 steps, the number 3 steps, where I give more information on how to connect, communicate, and convert.
And Squad, that website, which will be in the show notes, is spelled BIBAP as in Papa, EDRON.com. So bibapedron.com. And if you want the free ebook, it's bibapedron.com/3 as in the numerical 3 steps. And all of that will be in the show notes. And Biba, do me one last favor and leave us with one last knowledge nugget you want us to take with us, internalize, and take action on.
Just have the passion of what you want, and make sure that nobody stops you in your dreams.
Love it. And Squad, you've got a free masterclass with my friend here over. I love technology. I'm speaking to Biba, and she's in France right now in Normandy. I love that she carved the time out for us. And she's Biba for Network. And she was, people ask how she did it. How did she level up so fast? And basically, she took action on what she just said, her passion. Her passion, she took action. She learns English, which is not an easy language, and she learned it. She wants you to be convicted. And when you are convicted in what your passion is, that anything is possible. She'll say that a good coach has spent time in your shoes. She's walked that path. She has the experience. And a good coach should also have a coach. Like myself, my clients know that I coach. I have 4 different coaches. I have mindset coach, health coach, fitness coach, and also my spiritual coach. And she's someone that will support you if you're motivated. Okay, you have to be motivated to make that change and to level up. She wants you to surround yourself with an entourage, with the right people that is going to take you places, and you help take them to the same places together. She's going to be remembered as somebody that impacted people, especially women, not just on a small level, but a macro level. She wants you to get your ask in gear. So when you don't know something, ask people, reach out to myself, reach out to Biba, and we'll help you get to where you are. And she wants to be able to do what she wants, where she wants, with who she wants, through a point of service. And Biba, you are fantastic. You're beautiful. You're humble. You're happy. You're hungry. You level up your health. You level up your wealth. I'm so blessed to have you on Time to Shine today. The squad loves you. Can't wait to collaborate in the future.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're very welcome, Biba. I'll talk to you soon, love.
Bye.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast. Proudly brought to you by Sutter & Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you're a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.